I do have a smartphone, but I don't have a data plan or anything. So I'm virtually never connected unless I'm at home, like on my Wi-Fi. So this past trip I took just to get here was my first time using like a digital boarding pass or anything like that. I'm always this guy with like pieces of paper and stuff at the airport, and I'm fumbling around when it comes down to board.
A couple of Augusts ago when I gave up the internet, I was traveling and so just had the ticket. And it's weird when you're stuck in an airport without the internet. You realize just how boring it is.
Right.
But I looked at the flight time instead of the boarding time, so I missed my flight.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, that occurred to me when I was sitting on the plane, and there's the screens, and people are plugged into the screens. Everybody has a phone. They all have their internet access. I didn't have internet access, and my plan was to read.
This trip?
Yeah. On the plane anyways. And I'm also the kind of person who, like, I always get a window seat, and I can't not just stare out the window the whole time. Like,
oh, you like to do that?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's a miraculous view. Like when you climb to a mountaintop, if you live somewhere where you have the benefit of mountains, it's like you want to stand there and soak that in. I mean, that's like 4 hours on an airplane of just constant changing landscape for miles and miles and miles. And I can't not just stare out the whole time.
That's an admirable view. I wish I held it.
Okay.
But I just pull the window down and get work done.
Fair enough.
Maybe that's because of how little you've flown, though. Maybe there's still the wonder involved with flying.
Yeah. I have a tough time working and being focused in an environment like that, though. When there's people around, there's lots going on.
The screens aren't helpful.
No, yeah.
I often find myself continually looking, and I don't mean to. It's just
at screens.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's another thing, too. The guy beside me was watching a movie I've never seen before. But I remember at one time, so I'm the kind of person who reads a page and then puts it down and goes, wow, I have to process that, right? So at one time I was just sort of staring around, and the next thing I see is someone get their head blown off.
I know.
Like on his screen. And I'm like, they're totally kids who just saw that.
Dude.
And then someone else was watching a horror movie when I went to the bathroom.
I want to tell you about a course that I have created for men to overcome pornography. It is called strive21.com/Matt. You go there right now, or if you text STRIVE to 66866, we'll send you the link. It's 100% free. And it's a course I've created to help men, to give them the tools to overcome pornography. Usually men know that porn is wrong. They don't need me or you to convince them that it's wrong. What they need is a battle plan to get out. And so I've distilled all that I've learned over the last 15 or so years as I've been talking and writing on this topic into this one course. Think of it as if you and I could have a coffee over the next 21 days and I would kind of guide you along this journey. That's basically what this is. It's incredibly well produced. We had a whole camera crew come and film this. And I think it'll be a real help to you. And it's also not an isolated course that you go through on your own, because literally tens of thousands of men have now gone through this course. And as you go through the different videos, there's comments from men all around the world encouraging each other, offering to be each other's accountability partners and things like that. Strive21, that's strive21.com/Matt, or as I say, text STRIVE to 66866 to get started today. You won't regret it.
At one time, so I'm the kind of person who reads a page and then puts it down and goes, wow, I have to process that, right? So at one time I was just sort of staring around, and the next thing I see is someone get their head blown off.
I know.
Like on his screen. And I'm like, they're totally kids who just saw that.
Dude.
And then someone else was watching a horror movie when I went to the bathroom. I'm sitting there thinking, like, how?
We hate children.
Yeah.
I don't see any other way around it. If Little plays porn on their videos, which they do, because porn has infiltrated most modern entertainment. A lot of modern entertainment.
I didn't know that.
Well, just like
that they do.
Like just explicit sexual scenes, right?
Right. Oh,
and,
sure.
And they do not edit it.
Yeah.
And so now that is grooming, that's wicked, that's strapping a child into a seat and letting them see porn.
Yeah.
I don't see any other way around it, but you hate children.
Yeah.
I'm saying it aggressively, but I don't think I'm saying it aggressively
or
enough.
out of neglect, we end up treating them contemptuously. Like, I think of even just the parents that I saw on planes with their kids who, you know, their kids would be, they need something. And forgive me, like, again, I'm a bit of a nervous flyer. I think it's a crazy thing that we put ourselves in these explosive tin cans and rocket ourselves through aerospace. And as a kid, I mean, I would want to be attentive to my kids and be like, are you okay with what's going on right now, right?
Yeah, because
all these parents are just sort of like, what? And it's like, well, we ourselves are so committed to our distractions that we can't be bothered to show any concern for their actual needs or well-being, it seems a lot of the time. Like, I don't think most people would say, yeah, it's a good thing my kid has a cell phone, But if I don't give him a cell phone, then I have to get off of mine and pay him some actual attention, spend some quality time with him. So it's more out of just a fact, I think, that we are too weak to walk away from our own distractions and our own vices.
Have you done that? Have you tried to do that? And what does that attempt look like?
Yeah. So it varies with what seems to work and then what doesn't.
We should point out that you're a web developer. You run a YouTube channel.
Yeah. There have been moments where I have thought to myself, I would abandon it all if it wasn't for my job. But I just don't know how to find the boundaries of it as a result of that. But so at home, we try to live a pretty scheduled life, like a bit of a rule of life.
Nice.
So we have like a timetable of things that go on. And one of those things is like we've got alarms set on our phones to obviously to pray, and when it's chore time and when it's meal time. And my wife has like 10 more alarms than I do. But one of the ones that I have is like, go turn the internet off now, right? So it's like 5 p.m., finish working if you can, and go turn the internet off and spend time with your family doing something more worthwhile. Now there's times when that doesn't work because we have to get online for something, or the kids might need it for school, or Carolyn might need it for something else. But those kinds of things are the goal. We don't have data plans for that reason, just to try and put reasonable limits on our access to something that is obviously addictive.
If you don't have a data plan, how do you make phone calls to people?
Oh, well, just through, maybe it's different in the States, but in Canada, you have data which gives you like internet access and access to like digitally connected apps.
Oh, I see. Yes.
But then your phone and your texting
separate.
is through, just like a phone connection. Yeah. So we have that, but, and then we also have like parental control software on the network at our house.
Yeah.
Which just filters out the bad stuff. And you can also use it to manually filter out certain things. So like when I'm at work, I've got it scheduled to like all social media is blocked at that time.
Hey, thank you so much for watching. Before you go, do us a favor, leave a comment, let us know what you thought of the video, like, and subscribe.